begin the session, I would like to express my gratitude, to Principal Dr. Nina Seth for inviting me to make this presentation. I consider this an opportunity and privilege to meet and interact the students of this Govind Ballabh Public College. This is a rare opportunity, for a retired persons, So therefore, in that way, I accept this and wish you all the very best. And incidentally, Dr. Nina Seth has been my colleague in the Association of Indian College Principals, and I know her for nearly 8 years now. I found her very, having exceptional qualities of a leadership required for building an institution. I just found out your college started sometime in 2003. So it is just a relatively new college, and out of these 17 years, she has been the principal for 10 years. So this is remarkable. And under her leadership, the college made an all-round progress, both in academics and sports. So it is a privilege and honor to associate with you. Yeah, Nag.
It's indeed honor for us, sir. Should we start formally? Can we start, sir? Kindly give permission. Over to Jitendra, ma'am.
Please begin.
Thank you. A lively conversation between our principal and Dr. G.Ramachandaram has reminded me of a quote that I have written a long time back. Zami, आसमां और सितारे सभी मिलकर मोहब्बत से जब चलने लगे उस नजारे को स्वर्ग सब कहने लगे. And everyone on this earth seeks for a happy heaven. And Mahatma Gandhi once has said, happiness is when what we think, what we say, and what we do are in harmony. And a very pleasant morning to one and all. I am Jitendra Kaur, Assistant Professor in English from Govindgarh Public College, Kandivali. Today, I am the moderator for the 7th webinar of a web series organized by the college with the goal of personality and skill development of students. Since its inception, the institution strived to achieve excellence, and under the able guidance of our visionary and diligent principal, Dr. Nina Seth Pajni, the college NSS unit has recently received the award of Best NSS Unit amongst 192 colleges of Punjab University, Chandigarh. It is an occasion of pleasure and privilege for me today to welcome our scholarly and erudite resource person, Dr. G.Ramachandaram, who is going to delegate over the topic, Importance of Social Harmony. We welcome you, sir. Dr. Ramachandran has been the founder principal of Kandivali Education Society, Shroff College, Mumbai. He is a man of immaculate integrity, far-sighted vision, and phenomenal courage. He is the living epitome of the Nehruvian and the Gandhian values. It is really a privilege for our students and faculty to have such an exemplary and igniting figure amongst us. Once again, on the behalf of our principal, Dr. Nina Seth Pajni, IQAC coordinator, Professor Narendra Pal Singh, deputy coordinator, Professor Varinder Kumar, college faculty, and students, I welcome you, sir. I know today our students are going to have a lot to learn from your lively discourse and interaction. Now, I request our principal, Dr. Nina Seth Pajni, to formally introduce Dr. G.Ramachandaram. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning. Yes, good morning, all. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Is my voice clear? Okay.
Clear.
Thank you. Good morning, all. And not only students, but teacher and principal will also learn from the experience Dr. G.Ramachandran will share. And it's honor and privilege for me to welcome a visionary leader, great socio-ethical communicator, I will say, Dr. G.Ramachandran. Dr. G.Ramachandran is molded in the Nehruvian and the Gandhian values and ideals. He's a person of deep convictions and impeccable personal integrity. He holds a first-class master's degree in political science from the University of Bombay in 1977. A student of Jawaharlal Nehru, he was awarded a PhD degree by the University of Bombay For his thesis, Jawaharlal Nehru, his contribution to world peace in year 1990. It was the first time that any scholar undertook a full-fledged research on the Pandit Nehru, covering the entire period of his prime ministership for a comprehensive assessment of his impact on the world. His thesis was published as a book, Nehru and World Peace in year 1990. He has served as a lecturer in political science at Ramnarayan Ruya College, Bombay from 77 to 1982, and has been founder head of Department of Political Science at KG Soumya College of Arts and Commerce, Bombay from 82 to 1991. Has been a visiting professor at All India Institute of Local Self-Government, Mumbai from 79 to 1994. A professor of political science, has a distinguished teaching and career spanning over 3 decades. Participated in more than 150 state, national, and international seminars and conferences, and presented papers on a wide-ranging academic, administrative, socio-economic, and political issues. He has published more than 190 research papers and articles in leading journals and newspapers of national and international repute. Has to his credit the book Qaid-e-Azam, a translation of biographical novel Pratinayak based on the life of Muhammad Ali Jinnah that was published in year 2012. He is a founder principal of Kandivali Education Society's Shroff College, Mumbai, a state-aided A-grade autonomous institution affiliated to the University of Mumbai for 18 years, 1991 to 2009. He has served over there. He laid the ethical foundation of the institution and nurtured and guided the college with far-sighted vision, exceptional courage and integrity, and made it a first-rate institution in the city, especially with regard to the academic standards and discipline. During his long tenure as a principal of the college, he has often times to face trials by fire in order to secure it on a solid foundation of perennial values, transparency, and commitment to truth, taking on the high and mighty, risking his career time and again. He has been a member of several committees, including the Local Inquiry Committee, University of Mumbai, members of Academic Advisory Body, Institute of Indian Culture, Mumbai, etc., and has been the founder secretary of Association of Indian College Principal, the first registered organization of college principal at national level, and was elected unopposed as his president for a term of 3 years from 2007 to 2010. And here I want to share that I am member of this Association of Indian College Principals since year 2010 and met you, sir, first time in 2011 as you are a resource person of executive development program for college principals also. And under your mentorship, I attended the first this EDP program at Dalhousie in 2011. Hope you remember that. And he has been a
very much. Thank you.
And he has been a crusader against the corruption in public life that can be seen from the various articles he published in the newspapers. And an RTI activist and conducts workshops and seminars on RTI. His personality has such a deep impact on his college that on retirement, the teachers and the students carried him in a procession in an open jeep from the college to his residence after a touching farewell function. Earlier, the college annual day function, Aapke Naam, to serve with love, and was dedicated to him as a fighting tribute. I have seen all the pictures of all these procession ceremony and farewell ceremony that you shared with me during EDP program. Salute to you, sir. He has published his biography, The Trial by Fire, Memoir of a College Principal in 2017. And some of the copies are available at our library with me also, and have shared with some of the teachers also. And all these copies are available on almost all the e-commerce websites like Amazon, Flipkart, etc. And you can have it. It is the first time that such an autobiography is penned by the head of any educational institution, giving a gripping account of his torrid times. The autobiography is described in a press review as a Bible for the young teachers to mold their academic careers, retaining all the noble value humans are inherently imbued with. He's an author, a columnist, a freelance writer, contribute regularly to the newspaper, spend time in reading and writing. And I appreciate all his serious concerns about the decline in quality of education. He write about political interference in all the recruitment process and all that, and the corruption in public life. So the enthusiasm with which he shares several complex and interesting experiences that he managed in his illustrious career show that how much you love your profession, like the way you deal, and I appreciate that you never mince words in criticizing the injustice, incompetence, and lack of profession and integrity and ethics. So I would like to invite you to speak on the topic, importance of social harmony. Welcome you, sir, and over to you. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
nice
Dr.
day.
Thank you, Dr. Neena, for a very elaborative briefing about the man who is going to speak to your students and faculty. Well, see, being a political science professor, however, I may try to avoid politics in my presentation. You know, you can understand a Nehruvian cannot just avoid, analyzing and expressing his idea of a situation. So I would like you to look at the whole presentation from that angle. I tried my best to avoid politics in this presentation, not taking anything. But ultimately, the issues that I'm going to raise are the political impact, the consequence of politics of the day, as you know. See, the topic I selected, importance of social harmony, is in the present context of India that we're seeing. Quite often, I wonder whether this was the dream of India that we visualize as a child, as a young student with ambition college. Honestly, I have not seen this sort of transformation, not for necessarily good, drastic change, whether we are regressing or progressing, I'm not very sure. But after 73 years of independence, we are supposed to move ahead and become, one among the top countries internationally, making its impact felt as in Nehru's time, Pandit Nehru did. But today I feel so upset and feel bad when I read news or listen to news channels, violence everywhere. So therefore, I felt when Dr. Neena suggested, sir, select a topic of her choice, I said, why not they select this topic, social harmony, perhaps, irrespective of your academic background, as a faculty members and students, you should find this topic of common interest. See, our founding fathers, their vision of transforming a traditional society into a modern nation state. If you look at the preamble text of the Constitution, India is proclaimed as sovereign democratic republic and ensuring justice, liberty, equality to all its citizens. But social discrimination today is blocking very social justice. And I'm here going to list some 4 or 5 issues, which in my opinion are eroding the very social fabric of our society. These are my views. All of you, irrespective of your background, wherever you are sitting or listening, free to interact and exchange your views at the end of session. I am told not during the session. Though in a physical session, I would have preferred to have interaction right away, then and there, whenever presentation. So therefore, be free to express your views and corner me as much as you can at the end of the session. Let me see your intellectual caliber. Right. So the 5 issues I will identify, which in my opinion are eroding the social fabric of this country, social harmony. The first issue considers stranglehold of the caste system. You know, I said in my autobiography, the birth is accidental. Do you all agree? Birth is accidental in the sense we didn't have a choice to choose our parentage.
Yes.
Whether upper caste, low caste, Harijan, this or that, Hindu, Muslim, did we have a choice to choose? When we didn't have a choice, then is it so strange that we fight on gender, caste, and religion? I find it very strange. Why people should discriminate anybody on the basis of just birth? What is the caste system? And some sociologists, Professor Srinivasan used to say, Hinduism minus caste system cannot survive. That seems very relevant in present context. Hinduism without caste system cannot survive. Sociologist Professor Srinivasan said years ago when I was still a student. So that seems to be more relevant today. See the SCs, STs, underprivileged people, the way they're assaulted, attacked. And caste system in India, to me, it sounds something similar to apartheid in South Africa or the racism in the white-dominated America. Thanks to Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela, the apartheid is almost extinct in South Africa, in country of its birth. But casteism, more than 4,000 years old, or nearly 5,000 years in India, in spite of modernization, all that has come to occupy a center stage of both our society and politics. This is amazing to me. I used to believe before the Mandal Commission was accepted in 1990 that caste system is retreating, and thanks to a modernization process in India. No, thanks is taking a revenge. Caste system is coming back fully in its vehemence. So therefore, this practice of untouchability is abolished by the Constitution, Article 17. But the other day I was shocked to listen to the narration of former Speaker of Lok Sabha, Meera Kumar. I was really shocked. NDTV in an interview last year, she said that when she visited high society people, they show all courtesies, serve tea and snacks, etc. But she realized the cup from which she took tea is not touched by them. They will not touch. My good, you can imagine at that level also. So that is. Then I found the second factor that is disturbing the social harmony is religious extremism. The Constitution of India guarantees some 6 fundamental rights to all of us, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, place of birth. All are equal under the law. And therefore, the right to freedom of religion, one of the fundamental rights, says all religions are equal in India. Therefore, India is a secular state. Now, just one word about secular state, much misunderstood. Secularism doesn't mean non-religion. No, India is not non-religious. In fact, it's a land where 4 religions were born, and people are very much religious. In fact, that is the reason why the state decided not to patronize any particular religion, unlike neighboring Islamic countries, because not only India gave birth to 4 leading religions, of the world, including Sikhism, all religions are practiced in India as well. That is why the only option before us is to coexist peacefully or destroy mutually. The moment you say my religion is something special, please tell me if anybody can challenge me. Who is going to accept that? However, I am not a practicing Hindu. I claim I am a Hindu by birth. But I have immense pride in repeating and telling people again how what a beautiful Indian culture is. Hinduism is a vibrant religion. Anybody, just by accident of birth, the Hindu, isn't it a beautiful religion? If you are a Christian, you have to be a devotee. If you are a Muslim, you have to be a devotee. But there is no such thing as everybody except Dr. Ramachandran is a Hindu. That's all. Though I don't worship. I find it an extraordinary religion. And this is the beauty of a religion of diversity, tolerance, peace, love, and compassion. So therefore, it's important to preserve that beauty if you have to ensure social harmony in the society. The third factor that I consider disturbing the social harmony is gender discrimination. The ladies know better than me what I'm. One of the fundamental rights again is right to equality. That all men and women are equal in Indian society. That what Constitution promises. But what is the ground reality? There is no gender equality. The women continue to be discriminated across the board in all communities. I find this system of further burqa very insulting to womanhood. Even Gandhi and Nehru said it is a slavery. It is a form of a slavery. Gandhiji was invited to address Muslim ladies sometime 1929, during the freedom movement. And he went to address the Indian Muslim women. I know because of this segregation woman, huge parda, other side, the woman sitting, and he said, where are the women? You found, where are the women? No, the other side. You expect to address without seeing their face? Gandhi's reaction was, how do I address the women without even seeing their face? What is this system of burqa or parda covering face? Gandhi's answer is, let the women fight the grazing of men. They are capable of fighting for their rights. They don't need men to protect them. This was the father of the nation saying much before independence, 1928. Now today, how relevant what he said. Same way, Pandit Nehru in his Discovery of India says it is slavery, servitude, the burqa and parda system. So the ladies should work against this system, because that is itself a sign that a woman is unequal. That's it, in a patriarchal society, or whatever you may say and do. So and another paradox here is, the girls are outperforming the boys in all public exams. Can you all hear me? Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, the paradox is.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The paradox is, all girls, most of the girls, at least in public exams, I mean the SSC and HSC, central board or even state board, they're outperforming boys. And women are competing with men in practically every walk of life. But strangely, social taboos are such, women are denied equal status at home and society, workplace. I find it very strange. I find this very strange, a dichotomy. This is a dichotomy, a very paradox. the constitutional law promising something, the social reality is different. And the violence against women is rising exponentially. Last year, that is 2019, some 46,000 cases of crimes reported against Dalit women alone in India. Dalit women alone, 46,000 cases. The girls, mostly the Dalit girls or poor girls, are raped, brutally murdered. And now we can see the recent case of Hathras. I was so shocked to see that. Sometimes I get so emotional while watching news. I feel like almost screaming and shouting at people who are doing there. Though I know it is a scene, not physical, but your sense of outrage is so much. You can't imagine India of today when you wanted internet, smartphone, these webinars and whatnot, all catching up with the Western ideology, Western technology. But see how our women are treated. Only my just one suggestion here is, and it is the victim who has to fight back. Of course, men are there. I used to suggest to my girl students in the college, start a women lib movement and make your principal chief patron. I will lead your fight against the male chauvinism society. I used to tell my girl students in college, come on, girls, form a feminist movement in KS and make your principal chief patron of that, and you will see the difference. And I just want to share just my idea of marriage. There's a lot of opposition to intercaste, interreligious marriages. Though our freedom stalwarts used to say intercaste marriages are the best way to promote national integrity. Forget national integrity, even educated girls and boys are not allowed to choose their life partners and enter into matrimony. This again, I find very strange this is. My idea of marriage, which I had as a student, maybe sometime in 70s, yes, 70 today, nearly 5 decades I hold the view, which I narrate in my autobiography, which in a nutshell is this. My idea, Dr. Ramachandram's idea of marriage is this, as I narrate in my autobiography. So marriage is a union of two minds. What is more important to success of marriage is mental compatibility, temperamental compatibility. If two young people, that is man and woman, educated, known to each other for some years, understand each other, why should anybody come in their way of getting married and settling down? What does it matter which caste, religion? Yes, but one thing is I would share and agree here, that after marriage, means say if young people who, irrespective of their caste, come together and get married, caste even faith, perhaps one reason why such marriage is not working is, I used to tell my daughter, is see, probably, though not without a substantial documentary evidence, after marriage, the young couple who get married, who courted each other for so many years, get married, defying family norms and customs and tradition. One of them, or mainly the man, tried to impose his way of life again, either in terms of caste, traditions, or religion. See, I again find it strange. What is the idea of love marriage or two intercaste marriage, people coming together, is they understand each other, they don't care about the caste background, isn't it? Then when that are a religious background, why not they live as they are, as they met? Why can't they live as they met after marriage? So one of the reasons for breakup is attempt to dominate, impose one's way. Now you will be surprised if I say that after marriage, it is necessary for the men to share household chores, Otherwise, the married woman working and taking care of the house, I consider punishment. Excuse me, ladies and gents. If you don't have a maid, say, if you have a maid, fine. If you don't have a maid, like in Western countries, is it not necessary that both of them share a household chores and marketing, everything? Be happy. You can't say, man cannot say, no, I worked so hard, let me rest. But it's also woman, I'm speaking of working wife, so also woman, does she also not deserve some rest at home? Please, I find all these are dichotomies, contradictions in our mental makeup. Respect married woman as she is, give her spacing. And if both are working together and give space to each other, accommodate each other, I can tell you they can lead a very, very happy married life. Now here, I have incidentally, a few days, 2 days before in a newspaper, I picked up this. Incidentally, you know, Bollywood, the Mumbai Bollywood, which is in news for wrong reasons these days, as a plenty of examples of interfaith marriages being so successful. Very strange. I didn't make this point, register this point earlier, but a few days back when I was preparing for this article, suddenly I remembered this. See, look at this. When Sunil Dutt married Nargis, who was a Muslim, a Hindu married a Muslim, okay? He didn't convert to Islam, nor did Nargis convert to Hinduism. Similarly, Shah Rukh Khan married a Hindu woman, Gauri. And she remains a Hindu. She has not converted to Islam. Even the cricketer Zahir Khan married a Hindu woman, Sagarika, and she is a practicing Hindu. I found her other day watching, clapping for a team, Zahir representing, I think, Rajasthan Royals. I don't know, IPL. I saw her in the sitting in the somewhere in the box and clapping. See, this is how the intercaste religion marriage can work. See how successful these people, they didn't bother. So what I said in the beginning is true of these people. When young people met for what they are, they're believing them, respecting them, they don't bother imposing their way of life, custom and religion. So that's how the marriage works. What's the point of leading in a domestic violent marriage and confining in the name of tradition and customs? And the fourth factor, I have to skip off many things because fourth factor that contributes to social disharmony in a society is the toxic media, social media and electronic media. This is again a new development, perhaps, we don't know. Electronic media, social media have become a law unto themselves. Slander, targeting people, damaging the reputation and image. And recently that, Bollywood actors suicide, that Riya Chakraborty, what is this? As if there was no other stood all TV channels except NDTV showing day in and day out only that she did this, she did that. So many theories were developing to corner that lady, the ex-girlfriend of that Sushant. Isn't it unfair? And police was attacked. Now this led to the Mumbai police, former commissioners and leading film makers and film associations moved the Delhi and Bombay High Court to constrain these toxic channels from defaming them. See that to that extent. I mean, Bombay High Court has said unless these electronic media is regulated, the whole system will collapse because it takes years to work to build a reputation, but a single stroke is enough to damage one's reputation. That is very much true. Now I come to the last disturbing factor in our harmony. That the archaic criminal justice system, wheels of justice move at snail pace. Criminals who are supposed to be investigated impartially, prosecuted, awarded punishment in a time-bound manner. That doesn't happen. Hundreds and thousands of, people are arrested, detained under the draconian laws of NSA, sedition law, and UAPA. And yet, for years, they spend in jail without trial. Where is justice? Where is the rule of law? Where is the rule of law? And attempt to cover up the crime. If the higher ups are involved, powerful influence are involved. They engage very eminent lawyers, and poor people have no legal recourse. I find very absurd. What is the meaning, you ladies and gentlemen? Tell me, freedom and democracy do this. Unfortunate fellow citizens. What does it matter if a country goes to hell or tomorrow? They don't have basic rights, basic decent security, and you talk of modernization, this and that, catching up Western countries in technology. That's fine. But what about the basic rights and right to life and liberty? Basic rights have to be guaranteed. Otherwise, the country will not see the peace and harmony. So the powerful and influential people who commit crimes with impunity manage to get scot-free. That is why I call it the archaic criminal justice system in India. This must change. If the people's faith in justice system has to be restored, it is shaken up. It is shaken up. Now I come to the conclusion, maybe in a few minutes. Another 5 minutes I can take. Hello? How many more minutes can I take?
Yes, sir.
Another 5 minutes?
As you wish, sir. It may be half an hour. You can take half.
I say just as our constitution guaranteed fundamental rights, it also mandates the Indian citizens to perform certain fundamental duties. And what are these duties? Fundamental duties are these. Every citizen, Indian citizen, has the duty to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions. Today they are shaken up. Constitutional values are not observed. Democratic institution that Pandit Nehru laid, the father of modern India, I call him, for 18 years. All those institutions are in peril. One after another, take any name. Institutions are, a lifeline of a free society, democracy. Do that. So, to abide by the Constitution, respect its ideals and institutions, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people. We are fellow citizens. A feeling of fraternity, brotherhood is essential. It is our duty to promote and work towards promoting common brotherhood. To renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of woman, a wonderful duty. To renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. My God, it's a big story this is. Child marriages, domestic violence. I read these days during this pandemic, at least in Maharashtra, also in other states, child marriages have doubled up. You know the reason? Child marriages during the pandemic are doubled up. The reason is, the newspapers report that migrant workers went back to villages for want of jobs here during the lockdown period. And schools are closed. Young girls, young girls, even not even teenagers, some maybe just 12 years around. So no schools to go, and no midday meals to take care of, poor children's meals at school. And parents, no income, no jobs, everything lost. Now imagine, it is easy for us sitting here to talk about equality and gender equality and status of women after marriage, etc. But these people are semi-literate, if not illiterate. What do they understand? Child marriages are rampant. So girls dropped out from school, are sent to brokers, even sold to brokers. And some of them are promised to keep them engaged in some work, but no, they go to brothels. Some are forced to get married to very aged people. So 100 years back, stories, 150 years back, stories returning. Child marriage, even now, parents don't think there is any crime. Their survival is more important, though many social organizations are rescuing them, but it's happening. So to renounce practice derogatory to the dignity of woman is a wonderful duty that all of us are supposed to perform, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Another duty of ours. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. India is not monolithic. India is not a single entity. However, you may try to impose one language, one religion, one etc., etc. It just cannot work in our lifetime, even years to come, because we're a huge, diverse society. Huge. India itself is a mini world, if you ask me. And there's no other country as India, whichever way you look at it, in the sense of in a negative or positive way. If I look at positive way, the extraordinary country, I'm immensely proud about its cultural heritage. So therefore, this composite culture to which all people have contributed. Yes, this dichotomy of Hindu-Muslim, I know, yes, I'm being a man of history and political science, I do admit here that in the earlier era, maybe 1,000 years back, Muslims invaded, plundered, looted us. There's no need to repeat this story, everybody knows it. But we also had Akbar the Great, who married a Rajput princess, who introduced the Dinelai synthesis of the modern Nehruvian secularism. Nehruvian secularism in the 16th century. All priests of all religions were patronized at his court. And Akbar was more influenced by the Hinduism, Rajput royalty and their tradition custom than anybody else. If you quote Aurangzeb, but you should also consider, if you quote his grandson has done more damage to Indian ethos and culture, but you also have to see the people are at a different time, ruled differently. But Akbar the Great also did good service. He is compared to Ashoka the Great. So therefore, how long we want to spread this when, okay, they are responsible for dividing country. Of course, I elder Muhammad Ali Jinnah, one of my articles posted on the blog, Muhammad Ali Jinnah as the breaker of India, United India. I said in my post on a blog recently, but also many other communal parties have contributed to that idea of Jinnah was essentially a secular, no less a person as Sarojini Naidu called him Hindu-Muslim ambassador during freedom movement. Same man who retired from politics, went to England, became England citizen, and never to return back to India, comes to India in late 1930s, in mid 1930s, and follows Gandhian example of wearing simple clothes and learning Urdu. He never prayed, he didn't even know how to speak Urdu. Such man turns communal, and of course, we have other fellow communal elements in Indian society, and pouring fuel to that communal ideology. So therefore, So you cannot, but that all right. That story ended with the partition. All right. Now, how long you want to say they were responsible for dividing? What about nearly 20 crores, 15% of Muslims who didn't migrate to Pakistan and choose to remain in India? What crime have they committed, ladies and gentlemen, that they should be still continue to be ill-treated? Is not India, does not India belong to them? So you see, these are the vital issues. And if they are alienated, if they are discriminated, then how can we ensure unity? How can we guarantee the India that we have today will remain as one entity, as a geographical entity, even now? So therefore, it's in our own interest. We should accept each other as each other's faith and believe that Muslims also contributed to Islamic culture. Now, they were not only plunderers and looters, no doubt history is a testimony to that, but history also testimony that they contributed to composite culture. And I don't think, this is my view, I don't think the temple in Ayodhya will end the Hindu-Muslim. Already I am reading Mathura, Kasi, and even some people are saying that Janmabhumis of Lord Shiva and Krishna, so mass should be removed. I read, and somebody has gone to court even. And somebody, very surprising, if I say, an eminent principal, I don't want to name her, an eminent principal other day exchanged on my WhatsApp, shocking, that, sir, I was a child when I went to Agra, Taj Mahal. My mother used to tell me this was built over temple. I never believed used to this, but now I have strong evidence to say Taj Mahal was built over a temple. Now, ladies, where are we heading? Where are we heading? If you create a fiction this way, the myth, which people will buy sensationalism for a different thing. So therefore, it is important to preserve this rich heritage and composite culture of India, and to develop the scientific temper, the duty I'm speaking of. And it is okay? Is it all right? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then in 2-3 minutes, I'll wind up. So to develop scientific temper, humanism, and spirit of inquiry is very essential. Unfortunately, our education institutions have failed to make our youths aware of these rights and duties. Only commerce, IT, and multinationals. Or if opportunity comes, migrate abroad. And to which, this man who played that role in 3 Idiots, one Muslim father, who was that name? Parikshit son, right? No, Parikshit son's son. Who was that man who played father of Muslim in the 3 Idiots? Sahani, either. What is the name? Sahani, Parikshit's son.
Okay. Parikshit Sahani.
What that? Please repeat the name.
Yes, Parikshit Sahani. Parikshit Sahani.
That's that. Yeah, but that Parikshit Sahani narrates his story that when he was a student studying in Moscow, sometime 1960 or 61, before China's attack on India, Pandit Nehru visited Moscow, and also Indian embassy invited all Indian students in Russia to come to this, to listen to Pandit Nehru. This man, Parikshit Sahani, was sitting in the front row, listening to Pandit Nehru's speech, and Nehru just asked at the end of the speech, "Young man, what are you planning when you are returning to India?" He said, "What India? What has is given to me? I don't want to return." Just he put his hand on his shoulder. The young man said, "Look, young man, see, Mother India is craving for your attention and service. Imagine if some of us who had law degrees, settled in England, practiced, what would happen to Indian freedom movement? So that is my advice to people who think India has nothing to offer. Please don't think India has everything to offer. It's all a way we look at it. So therefore, our institutions are not making our citizens conscious. It is important that children, girls and boys are brought on equal footing. The duty of the teachers and students, teachers and parents to ensure that girls and boys are treated equally. Parents bring up daughters and sons on equal footing, no discrimination whatsoever in terms of education, job opportunities, or marriages. And lastly, to conclude, I conclude just quoting Pandit Nehru, who said, narrow-minded people are much more likely to be untruthful and violent. Narrow-minded people are much more likely to be untruthful and violent. I find it a strange resemblance today. It is this narrow-minded people who are, out to harm the Indian unity and integrity by resorting to violent acts and creating social tension. Unless these elements are restrained, we cannot ensure peace and security and social harmony. Social harmony in society is important to keep our diverse country together and protect and preserve its freedom and constitutional democracy. Thank you. I leave enough time for the question. Thank you. End of my presentation.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I think Madam Jitinder Kaur is disconnected. Moderator, there might be some internet issue. So we are thankful to sir. It's okay, sir. She will rejoin soon. It's okay.
But you didn't miss any of my presentation, right?
No, sir. Not from your side.
Okay.
It's moderator side. I can
right.
see. Yes, there is a blinking. His screen is her screen is blinking. So
Right.
rightly said about the caste system that we are born. What religion is by birth, and sometimes what we practice, religion by practice, and about gender discrimination also, sir. You might have seen recently the Haryana government has given 30% reservation to the women in job and all the categories, and there so many male members you might have seen criticizing this on their social media, that why this gender discrimination, actual gender discrimination is here because you have given 30% reservation to the women. Any comments, sir, you want to say about that? That what they said, that on one side you are talking about gender equality and on the other side you are giving reservation to the women.
Well, on the face of it sounds a very strange logic, of course. Yes, when you believe it, but where is the equality? You see, the reservation policy is supposed to be policy to protect the weak. But in spite of reservation, though the reservation may have helped the marginalized sections, the poor and the weak, to improve their social status somewhat. But see, the caste system is very much there. And it's only the who benefited by the reservation, they are only taking all benefits. And the low-cost people backwards at the bottom of the social ladder are not receiving the benefits of reservation, either in education institution, government jobs. So unless we eradicate this social inequality, social discrimination society, the benefits of reservation may have to be continued. Yes, educated women like Dr. Seth and your faculty may not need any reservation. They are competent enough to get on their merit. But just as general reservation is a push, to uplift the poor, so also reservation can lead to somewhat bringing the woman into main limelight of public life. To that extent, it's justified. but how far the woman will be then used by men only to project them, and they become puppets in the hands of powerful men. That's also a matter of concern. Yeah, but we can't get rid of it. Ultimately, I personally do not believe in reservation of any type. That is my. See, intellectually, why do you want to beg somebody's mercy? Oh, I'm a woman. I'm a SC, ST, OBC. Please oblige. Why? Why do you want that? Kick out that baggage of birth or whatever it is. It's all in the mind. Backwardness is the mind. I feel the reservation. This benefits of reservation caste system. If you have to abolish ultimately, this again, my opinion is. Slowly, while the reservation may continue for temporarily some more time, it cannot be indefinite. Why do we need a caste identity in our admission forms? The moment you identify somebody, notices you over. However modern you may be, sophisticated, otherwise your appearance and behavior, that label will come. This is what is happening in IITs. Reservation is there for the poor, but they are unable to cope up with the privileged students. They cannot communicate. They cannot do well in exams. Some are committing suicide. Most of them are dropping out. The people should know in IITs, Institute of Technology, the low-cost people who got admission on basis of reservation are unable to cope up with the pressures of studies. So these are complicated issues. Yeah.
Yes, on gender discrimination, sir, on interfaith marriage also, you were talking about, you might have seen the Tanishq ad, the aggressive objection to what it wanted to interpret as love jihad. Our society is not yet comfortable with the interfaith marriage, and most who dare open experience the pain of social boycott. Examples you have given are that of upper class or celebrities only, but at lower class, I think still they are, even social media, you might have seen there's so much objections.
Yeah. Yes, that is a gender equality speak. I mean,
Sir, about the interfaith marriages, you might have seen
yeah, but interfaith marriages, yeah, so interfaith marriages, it's true. The celebrities they quoted are celebrities. They may be enlightened enough, but it may be something has to do with the bringing up children in the first place. Why bring up? Why not bring up children on equal footing, girls and daughters? That should begin at home. Because girls are discriminated, the boys perhaps get a message that it's all right to bulldoze the girls in whichever way they think. So that's for that discrimination should stop in the first place. And intercaste marriage, at least educated women should set example. Okay, I know ground reality poor, but educated women are not getting rid of dowry. Even educated women, I used to say in my class, IAS women give fat dowry to marry a fellow IAS officer. Can you imagine? That a woman under the Hindu Marriage Act, etc., has a right to inheritance. That's a different thing. When she has to get a share in ancestral property, that's a different thing. She can get it. But why dowry should be a condition for marriage? Please tell me. That too among the educated working women. Can understand if ultimate woman has to give a dowry to get married, I would even say sarcastically that okay, a girl can pass just manage to pass SS and get married. Otherwise, she needs higher education, all that. If ultimate, so then why do blame the low-cost people? These migrant workers marrying off their girls. See, their thinking is so limited. How are the educated different from these marginal workers, marginalized workers, migrant workers? So thinking is the same. Therefore, it is necessary to bring up the sense of equality, and educated woman should set an example. Should set an example, yeah, so that others can follow.
Yes, sir. Nowadays, most of us are students of social media university, like we have WhatsApp university and all that, and social media has lot of role to play on that. I suppose that it can be positive. Like so
Yeah.
many, you might have seen that social media is full of toxic communal politics, and
Yeah.
so it can play a positive role.
Yes, it
Others
should.
can also
Very,
join.
that's a wonderful suggestion. Yes, but that is social media can play a positive role of taking up some of the issues that we're discussing, but they're not doing. They don't do that. They're instead using the platform to spread fake news and lies and target people at somebody's behest, because they enjoy sensationalism. We blame these toxic news, but common people are also patronizing, isn't it? They're watching those,
Yes.
they want sensationalism only. If a Republic channel carries something sensational, people want to believe that.
Yes.
Because
Yes,
so therefore it is a vicious circle. Who is responsible for what? Maybe media responsible, or media is doing the toxic news because people like it. I don't know, or vice versa. It's all that way. But that's a good
Yes.
idea, the good suggestion. Social media, in fact, should do this job of enlightening boys and girls and fighting all these, malice that affecting society.
yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, welcome back to Professor Kaur. Yeah.
There was a technical snag. I apologize for
Oh,
that.
so you are Varinder
And,
Kumar, or hello, Jatinder Kaur.
actually, I'm Jatinder Kaur from someone else.
Name flashing here is Varinder Kumar. Is that
Yes,
so?
yes, sir. I
Oh,
have
okay.
borrowed a PC of my colleague.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I am really thankful to you for giving such an enlightening lecture, and you have made us aware of the hurdles which we generally think about, but we don't do anything. But anyhow, if we want our country to progress, there should be harmony, because even if there is no harmony in the nature itself, as I begin with the quote that Zami, Asma और सितारे सब मिलके चलने लगे, तो सब अगर मिलके चलते, there is a harmony in the nature itself. So if we want that our country should become a progressive country, it should be in the one of the best countries of the world, then these hurdles of caste, religion, gender discrimination, these have to be abolished, and the media has to take up its positive role back, and all justice system, our judiciary should be revolutionized. This is what all I could get from your lecture, and I thank you from the core of my heart for sparing a valuable time. And I had a word with you yesterday as well, and I found that you are a man of punctuality, a man who values time. In a short span of time, you have given us a lot. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
ma'am,
We do have
kindly
questions.
check the chat. Kindly check the chat box. Some of the question are there from the student side.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Kindly
Yes, sir.
have written.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there's a student who has been saying that it was Lord Risley who created the first census of India according to caste in hierarchy basis, and the government of India has followed that. So is it been introduced by this caste discrimination, or this caste system has been introduced by Lord Risley? Anything would you like to say, sir?
No, that is not true. Said the caste system was introduced by British. It's as old as Indian history, caste system. No, this is the social hierarchy based on occupation is as old as but it is now maybe recently that this caste system become so sharp, segregation has become so sharp. Otherwise, caste system is there, right from, as far as my knowledge goes, caste is not a recent phenomenon. It is entrenched deeply in Indian thought and its civilization.
Hello.
Yeah.
Are you able
Please,
to hear me, sir?
please identify your name.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Jitendra Kaur, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
okay, you come back. Yeah.
Is there any other question?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
So this is Professor Rupinder.
Yeah.
So I have a question. My question is a bit paradoxical in nature.
Yeah.
It's normally said that violence multiplies with non-violence. So it's many a times, like for example, the weaker section, when they are suppressed, or the weaker sex, again they are being raped brutally. So what is your take? Do you think violence get multiplies with non-violence, or do we have to go through some other uh, other things to be
No,
followed?
no, say violence leads to violence. The central reason for violence in society is the denial of justice. When the people who commit crimes are not punished immediately after fair trial, the victim has a sense of revenge. No matter, then we are not Gandhians, you see. We are not Gandhians. In fact, I would, though I claim I'm a Nehruian Gandhian ideology intellectually, but I believe, you see, goodness has no meaning unless you also have the right to fight back when required. Otherwise, your goodness can be considered weakness. If the woman is attacked, assaulted, I would advise them to assert and fight back. Why do you consider yourself weaker sex? Can any ladies answer me? Why should a lady consider a weaker sex? It's all again in the mind. It's just a biological difference, nothing else. Well, see this frail woman, Indira Gandhi, the dummy doll used to be called. And when she liberated Bangladesh, no less a person as opposition leader, Vajpayee called her the goddess Durga. Frail, underweight, weak lady, very. I have a big history about her, of course. See, this all in the mind. Mental toughness comes from training of mind. I feel the woman, unfortunately, considered weaker sex vulnerable. Why are vulnerable? Okay, if you're going alone in a remote village like your Haryana or Punjab, maybe. But in a city like Mumbai, you can walk up to midnight. My daughter used to come from airport at 2:30 a.m. When I offered her to, when she started career, Daddy, what do you think? I need your protection. I used to tell her, should I come to pick you up at 2:30? She will hire the auto and reach home by 3:30 in the night. Papa. So that is the situation, mindset. So violence, non-violence. Even Gandhi also said that, if between the war and cowardice, I select war. Cowardice is not a way out. One should fight back for one's rights. Women should fight for their rights and not need not resort to violence, but should not take injustice wherever it is happening. That is my advice. Stand up for your rights. Live with a dignity and self faith and confidence.
Thank you, sir. So I believe you agree for violence multiplies with non-violence, and war is necessary for peace.
Violence multiplies non-violence. What do you mean by that? Violence multiplies non-violence? No.
Violence multiplies with non-violence.
I don't agree with that statement. Violence multiplies with non-violence. Is that the example of Gandhiji? Gandhi is the most rebellious, most rebellion that history ever known, but he was non-violent throughout. The mighty empire had to bow down before him. British Empire, the biggest empire in history, had to bow down before him. No, it's not. In fact, it's a non-violent, secure independence for us. That after the partition, some violence took place, a different thing. But no, I don't say violence multiplies non-violence. No. There's no connection here. Non-violence cannot lead to violence. That's what you're trying to say. No.
I think timely non-reporting of violence may multiply it. It should be timely reported.
Yeah.
It should be raised.
Yes, that's true. If then violence cases, that's the way the media is playing these days, failing these days. Where is the media investigating? So look at all news, all just hyper, aggressive approach. They don't investigate, they don't get the truth, they don't touch the main issues, all sidetracking, all politics. The people who hold, debates on the TVs, all this part of that Congress versus BJP versus etc. But no intellectuals come and debate impartially the issues there all either. So therefore, yes, violence, if suppressed, may lead to violence as a retaliation. That's the root cause of all criminal activity. Why? Nobody by birth is a criminal. You agree? Nobody by choice is a criminal. Man becomes criminal because of the environment, the situation. So when the justice is denied, violence is perpetuated. Yes, he may retaliate, and violence leads to violence.
Okay. I guess if there is no any other query.
Ma'am, there are a few in the chat box, I suppose.
Okay. If there anyone who wants to ask something from sir, may unmute himself or herself and then ask the question. But don't forget to introduce yourself before asking the question.
And switch on your video also, introduce yourself and then ask the question. Anyone who want to. Mr. Gyanendra Shukla is there in the chat box. He has written something.
He has been talking about the origin of caste system from Aryans and all, Aryans and Dravidians, the theory of Max Miller. But there's no question as such, ma'am. I couldn't see a question about it.
Is Mr. Gyanendra Shukla is there?
Yes, he is very much there, ma'am.
He can switch on his video, unmute and may ask the question. Mr. Gyanendra Shukla. Because we are not getting what you want to write. There are fragmented sentences are there.
I guess we have lost him.
He said, yes, that as I know, is a caste system was created to control the population and not to discriminate. What he said.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we have lost him.
Okay, then we can conclude now.
Yes. So, on the behalf of Madam Principal, our IQAC coordinators and deputy coordinators, faculty and students, I would like to thank Dr. G.Ramachandaram for giving elaborate description and satisfying the queries of the participants. Thank you very much, sir. You have made us aware of all the hurdles which are putting threat to our social harmony. And you have suggested that how, with the change of mindset, with our attitude, we can bring back the social harmony, we bring back the old India, where everyone lived with love and affection with each other, and to go together, to move on the path of development together. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time. It's a really great privilege to have you amongst us on this virtual platform. Definitely would like to have you on with us physically as well. Over to you, ma'am, Principal.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for sparing time. Thank you.
Thank you once more.
Have a nice day.
It was nice talking to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.